Someone needs to know. If you just left the country, someone needs to know about it, whether it's a friend, a coworker, someone you trust. Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amina, and on this channel I talk about my journey moving from the United States to Monte, Ecuador solo as a Black woman, as well as everything else that comes between that, and hopefully one day becoming a world traveler. This video is for my solo women out there, specifically Black women, but this can be applied to all women, but I specifically and intentionally want to be talking to Black women because I know we do not travel as much as we should. So this video is for y'all. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you why you need to solo travel internationally and some safety tips and tips on just how to do it safely and intentionally. So let's get into it. The first reason I'm going to tell you why you need to solo travel is you need to stop waiting for your friends. Stop waiting for your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever you're waiting for to book a trip or to go somewhere. If you spend your time waiting on other people to do stuff, it's not gonna happen. If you waited on someone else to pay your bills, are they gonna get paid the same way? No. When you travel solo, you have more freedom. You have the freedom to figure out when you want to wake up, when you want to go to bed, where you want to stay, how you want your experience to be. You have the freedom to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, I think that can be one of the most liberating experiences when you are traveling, when you are abroad, to just be able to pick what you want to do. When you're with other people, quite honestly, you are dealing with all different types of people, different types of ideas of how they want to see the trip or what they want to do, what they want to see. But when you're solo, you get to decide what that trip looks like for you and not have to worry about what that looks like for other people. One safety tip I definitely want to mention is the country you go to does matter. I would say there are countries that are not as great for solo travel for women as others. My first solo travel when I studied abroad, I took off and I went to Thailand, Chiang Mai specifically, and I spent the first week there alone. So that was my first solo travel. I didn't go with a group. I kind of just did my own thing, and then a week later I met up with my study abroad group. The reason I made that decision is number one, the cost, because the prices of the trip before that week that everyone else went were cheaper, and it was just overall cheaper to go solo than the group flight. So, but honestly, I would say that Thailand is a very safe country, a great place I know a lot of solo female travels go on. So just to keep in mind, where the country you choose does matter. It will depend on a lot of things, the safety, there's just different things you have to look into, and that will be variables when deciding where to go. So definitely don't think that you can just take off to any country. Which country you go to does matter. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is that Facebook groups and YouTube are your friend, okay? I promise, and here's why. Number one, they're great for research. When you're trying to figure out about this place that you're trying to go, joining Facebook groups and looking at YouTube videos are going to be really great resources to help you figure out and research where you want to go, what places to eat, kind of where the go-to places, who's out there, all these different things. You can get an on-the-ground perspective. And you can get that by, in regards to YouTube videos, even if there's not a video out there that says safety in blah, blah, blah city or safety in blah, blah, blah country, even though they're not talking about it directly, you can still get a sense for the safety in that place. When you're watching the videos and they're talking about whatever country or city they're in, how do they talk about it? Are they also solo? Are there things they bring up or different tips that they bring up just randomly that maybe can help you derive their level of safety in that place? And what things do they talk about doing? What places they talk about going? These are all questions you can ask yourself, and these are all questions you can kind of use to kind of guide you in figuring out the safety. And also try to look for videos that are more current. So maybe, especially with COVID-19, maybe a video before 2020 won't be as helpful, but if you find a video in 2020, 2021, these are going to be really great videos to kind of start your research because they're going to be the most recent. The third tip that I would recommend is make sure someone knows that you are leaving. Please. This seems very whatever, but I met a lot of people who were like, yeah, I just got up one day and left. I mean, not a lot of people, but I've met people that literally have said that. And I think no matter how old you are, who you are, someone needs to know. If you just left the country, someone needs to know about it. Whether it's a friend, a coworker, someone you trust. That if some crap went down, there's someone on the ground in the US that can at least help you or knows that an idea of where you are. Because if you just left the country and didn't tell anyone, that could be a safety concern. So I would say, even if maybe it's not a family member, make sure someone knows that has access to resources or someone that is able to help you or able to contact you. Make sure they know where you are and they're able to help you if something does go wrong. Because at the end of the day, life does happen. So we have to be prepared. The fourth tip that I would suggest is to print off everything. I say this because I think we're in a place now where everyone just shows everything on their phone, which is fine and dandy, but me, I think I feel a little bit more secure as a female solo travel when everything is printed, because things like my phone could get stolen, my phone could just die, I cannot have access to data or Wi-Fi. All these different things could really impact my accessibility on being able to show either my passport to to my ticket to the courier, whatever the case may be. So I make sure I print off everything. The fifth tip I would say is make sure you email yourself and the people or person that you trust all of this information. The reason I say this is because there's been times where maybe you lose that paper or whatever. If you can get access to your email or something like that, it's really important. And sending that email to someone else so they have all your information, whether that's your flight itinerary, your passport number, whatever the case may be. And again, make sure this is someone you trust. For me, I trusted this with 2 family members and a family friend, which were all really great things I did, because I think, number one, it gives the people that know you're going a little bit more peace of mind to kind of have some idea of where you're going to be. But also it gives you the freedom to know that if something went horribly wrong, you're not the only person with the information. Some documents that I think are really great to have printed off, I would print off a copy of your passport, print off the locations that you're going to go. So whether that's the itinerary of your hotel or hostel or Airbnb, or the address of the apartment you're moving to. Make sure you have a list. If you do have people that you met out there, make sure you can send off their contact information. Obviously, I would maybe ask first to make sure it's okay with them. For me, there's one lady I met through Facebook that helped me get an apartment, who was really great. I sent off her name and phone number in that document that I made for my family, so that in case, I don't know, my phone gets stolen, I have no other way of contacting people. They can try reach out to that lady and see if she's maybe has heard from me, or make sure I'm okay. Other things, make sure you have your reservations printed out. Make sure if you're getting a driver or have transportation linked up, make sure you have that information, because I don't know, maybe you picked the wrong driver and you wind up getting taken. I don't know. These are all things to think about. And also make sure you have your own contact information. One thing I did include in my list that maybe is a little overboard is I included like my handles on social media, also my different email addresses, because I just tried to think of every possible thing that could go wrong, and I included everything in this document. So I mapped out for my mom, here are my phone numbers, here's my Google Voice number. I definitely would suggest getting a Google Voice number because it's a really great resource as well. My Instagram, my different emails, all these different things, boom, 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 boom. So number one, if they're not able to contact me one avenue, maybe my phone got stolen, I still have access to my email or my Instagram, things like that. All things to think about and all things to consider. And I promise you, making that document made me feel a lot more safer and at ease. And I know, since I am young, I'm only 23. I was only 23 when I left. It also made my mom feel a lot more at ease as well. Mom, if you're watching this, make sure you comment below. Let people know that it did help. Last but not least, I would say, and I've heard a lot of other female travelers mention this. I didn't do this on my trip to my move to Ecuador, but I did on my trip to Thailand set up an account or sign up for the STEP program. It is through the US government, and I think it's a great thing to have. It just kind of gives the government an idea that you're abroad and can kind of help them to know. They send you notifications if there's anything gravely going on bad in the country that you're in, as well as it kind of gives them more an idea of if you do reach out to the embassy or reach out for help, they have more information to kind of help you through that. So I'll have that website, the link to that down below if you want to sign up for that. All in all, I didn't mean this video to scare anyone, but I think there are realities to going solo abroad. None of this was meant to deter you, but if anything, it's meant to empower you. I think that for me, I feel empowered if I kind of go through the process in my head of everything that could maybe go wrong. And I kind of in my head, or I write down solutions. If this happened, what would I do? If this happened, what would I do? And I think that more alleviates any anxiety I have, because I kind of have these tactile solutions to these problems that maybe at first seem very overwhelming, but when I really sit down and think about them, I'm like, okay, if this happens, I got this, I got this, and I got this. Just overall, for in this video, I just want to say that you have everything you need to make this happen. If you've been thinking about or considering either moving abroad solo or just traveling solo, if you've been looking for a sign, this is your sign. I really hope that this video helped. Just know that you are capable. I believe in you. You are powerful, and there's so much world to see. And one of my favorite quotes of all time that I think will always direct me when it comes to traveling or living abroad is that I personally have is, I refuse to see the world through someone else's pictures, through someone else's eyes, through someone else's posts. I want to see it for myself, and I want that for you too. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button below. Make sure you subscribe to see my other videos, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.